If you want to get on depth with news and technology in the wireline industry, you're watching All Shots Fired with Russell Smith.
All right, hello everyone. My name is Russell Smith. You're watching another episode of All Shots Fired. Today we are going to talk about sheave wheels. How important are they? Does it matter what size they are? And it does. Believe it or not, it makes a big difference. There's different types of sheave wheels. There's a lot on the market. I got three here that we're going to talk about. I got the Sabtex, which is a fairly new company, been out a couple of years. We have Wireline Technologies, also we call them Sabtex sheaves, but this is the one that pretty much the industry share has. Man, they're on pretty much every truck. They pretty much got the market on sheaves. The other one is a Geolog. Now, Geolog is an older, man, back when I ran a truck 20 years ago, that's what we used. And as technology has changed, we've gotten these other sheave wheels. But does size matter? You say this is a 20-inch. Now we got a 26-inch, and I think that one over there is an 18-inch. You're like, Russell, what difference does it make with all the sizes? Well, the cable and the way it bends around that sheave makes a difference. And I'd like to give you an example. I got a little rod here. This is just a little brazen rod. You can see this, but I can flex it. If I bend it, it goes right back to its original state. All right, and just like that cable, it goes around the sheave. If it bends and it goes back to its original shape. But if I bend it too much, it don't go back. And that's where we run into issues with our cable. We want that cable to not mess up. This is really hurting our cable, so you want that to happen. So in a nutshell, bigger is better, all right? But you can have too big too. But most 9/32 line people, I would say 9/32, this ain't the greaseless, the 9/32 line. The 20-inch is the average sheave for a 9/32 line. A lot of guys will run with a bigger sheave, like a 22-inch at the top and a 17 at the bottom. He's like, Russell, why the difference? Well, the biggest load on the bending is the top sheave. So I got a piece of cable here. So if you can look at this, if this is the top sheave, and this is hung at the top, it's pulling all the way down. I mean, the sheave wheel, see the big curve? It's got the biggest load surface on our wire line, so it's really bending it the most. But if it was the bottom sheave, it only covers maybe, what, a third of that sheave, okay? Because it only goes from angle and goes to the truck. So you can run maybe with a smaller sheave at the bottom. So that's why a lot of guys would use a different sheave, a little 17-inch at the bottom. Now the 26-inch, that is for our greaseless line, and we got to be really careful with our greaseless line. This is a high dollar expensive line. Usually we run 26-inch on all the sheaves for the greaseless. Top and the bottom, they don't question it. All right, it's just a guarantee on that. Okay. What else we got here? So we covered that. Well, if we look at how we load the wire on these, they're a little bit different. So if I could show you, Sabtex has this plate here. When this plate closes, it makes sure the line didn't jump out of the track, okay? Neat deal, it works good. The key is we never want that line to jump out of the track, all right? And that's how they do it. They got that plate that covers it. Now on the WTI, the Sabtex sheave, if you can see this, they got a plastic that covers it, and this plastic goes all the way around on both sides, all the way about to, right here where that nut is, all right? This is keeping the line from jumping track on these, okay? Now, this piece here is solid, so if you can see this piece right here, it's solid and it goes down to the bearing. If you ever put your line in and you don't close this up, I've seen this in the past in the field, they lift the sheave, we start going in the hole, and that thing will buckle and it'll actually bend this shaft a little bit. And you're like, well, you usually catch it. You'll say, oh, we didn't do that. Okay, so you pull it back down, but when you go to put this back on, guess what? This pin won't line up no more because that shaft is bent a little bit. So something that I caught with the Sabtex sheave, you make sure we put the pins in good and before we go in the hole. So that was one of them. Okay, I want to mention one more thing I want to throw in here are these keeper pins. These pins we would stick on these sides here to help keep the line in the sheave wheel in the groove. Sometimes guys will mess up, and it's usually a green hat or somebody that doesn't know. We may put a sheave wheel, and this is only on the bottom sheave. The sheave goes down, they'll stick their pin in, and it doesn't touch, everything looks good, but as that sheave rises, it'll start dragging on this pin. And buddy, if you had the greaseless line, that would be bad because it would peel that plastic off like you wouldn't believe. But you'll start going down a hole and you'll see your tool not going. You're like, what's going on? Next thing you look, you see that bin's bent and yeah, it's not good. So anyway, just be careful with these pins on these sheaves. So I want to make a note of that. Now the geolog, this is old geolog 2, you got to pull them out and it'll slide down. These old things, got to make sure you line the holes up and you just screw them in, these double bolts, and they screw in tight. And it's a pretty good system. I like these sheave wheels. I like this spring-loaded pin because it never left. You wouldn't lose it. And I like that part about it. So, and it locked into place. Something that I liked back in the day with the sheave, but I understand they're a little different. Back to the Sabtex one, this thing flexes at the top, so it's not a solid shaft like the Sabtex. So this thing, it flexes, so you're not gonna bend that shaft if you do not cover this up. But man, if you don't put that pin in, I think that would be really obvious with the Sabtex. So anyway, all right, what else we got? I think that pretty much covers everything I wanted to talk to you about. Sabtex, they got a lot of sheaves. If you don't want to buy a brand new sheave, they have refurbished ones. I need a new one. These sheaves are pretty tough. They last a long time. You can save a little money buying a refurbished. Talk to Steve Drew. He'll get you set up. Sabtex, call him Bear Savat. He's the owner of that company. Bear has these little tags on theirs. They make a little app you can put with your phone, and it picks up this tag, and it'll show exactly the certificate when it was pull tested and it's certified, ready to go. All the sheaves may do that now, but I just knew Sabtex was doing that, so that might be some new technology that everybody's doing. Okay, another thing I want to mention is Sabtex makes a 20-inch sheave and a 26. He kind of concentrates on the pump down greaseless market. Sabtex or Wireline Technology, they make bukus of sheaves, all different sizes for open hole, slick line, they cover them all. They even cover the geolog. So if you want a geolog sheave, talk to the Sabtex people. Sabtex was bought out by Bishop Lifting, so that's who the company is now owned, but you talk to the Bishop Lifting, which is also is Sabtex, so don't get the names confused. But I think that's it. I think that's it. If you're liking what you see, subscribe. Let us know. Let us know what you think. What sheave y'all like better? They're all good sheaves. I'm not going to say one's better than the other. Everybody likes to know opinion on a sheave wheel. So, but that's it. So that's it for next time. If you hear all shots fired, you're doing something right. All right, we'll see you again.